What is going on, guys? So this week we got ourselves UFC London. I'm super excited for this card this week. First of all, there were 7 undefeated fighters on this card, UFC London. Also, there's like 4 other fighters that only have 1 loss on their record. This card is one of the best for matchmaking, and I've got some good picks for you to break down. If we talk about last week, honestly, we did pretty good. 3 didn't hit, most hit. A lot of our favorites all hit. I was very happy with last week still. It's just hard to hit those props. I didn't go for 3 of them. But we still hit 2+ monies, and we hit our favorites. And our hammer, as always, Elijah Smith, hit. Amazing. He got the finish submission. That's a win. That's all we're doing every week by week, wins. On to this week. UFC London, feeling good about this one. Here's what I got. First of all, the hammer is a 2-leg parlay. Michael Venom Page, plus Luke Riley. It's plus 105. That's good money. So you put both of those together, very confident in both of them. I'm not going to touch the way they're going to win. Both those guys could win by KO. Both of them could win by decision. So just play them straight money lines. You get plus 105, both of them together. Very confident. They're in a lot of my betting lineups for these parlays this week. That's my hammer. As for my favorites, we'll start from the bottom. Brando Perisic. This one's a fun one, but I think that he's just way better than his opponent's going to be. Louis Sunderland, I don't think is necessarily the UFC echelon. You know, like he's not high level. Brando Perisic is going to show that. He trains at City Kickboxing. I think he's going to get the KO, but just bet him straight money line. Minus 265 is a good money line choice. I threw it on there because it's worth the value. Next one on the favorites, we got Kurt Campbell. I think Kurt gets this done, the Pink Panther himself. Dude's dangerous. He knows how to wrestle well. He knows how to mix it in well. These young England guys coming out of these gyms, especially the Scousers, these guys mix it well in MMA. Kurt Campbell's also on the favorite list there. He's gonna mix his wrestling in well. There's gonna be a lot of cage clinch. I think he might even get the back. He could sub. That's a good money line too, minus 265 range. I think that's a good value for your line. Next, Iwo Barienski. That's a fun name to say. Iwo Barienski obviously had that crazy round 1 finish in his last fight, his debut. Also one of the undefeated fighters on this card. This guy's good. Austin Lane, his opponent, not very good at all. I also have him on my prop list is round 1 KO at plus 105. Anytime you have a fighter at just plus 100, basically even money, just to get a finish in round 1, he's gonna get the job done. There's a reason this guy's like a minus 700, minus 650 favorite. That's why I have him on here. I don't put much of the chalky favorites, but I do put the people I think are worth it and are not going to screw your parlays up. Iwu's getting this win. I also have him by round 1 finish. I think he's going to get the knockout over Austin Lane nice and quick. Last but not least, I got the underdog. On my money line picks, this main event is awesome. I'm not really touching it besides the Lerone Murphy call. Evelev, he is good too. Don't get me wrong, decision machine. Both these guys have been decision machines. Even though if you look at Lerone Murphy's record, he has just about as many KOs as he does decisions, but just as he's been at the UFC and he's at the harder competition, it's been decision wins. This is an amazing main event. Both undefeated fighters. If you don't want to touch this money line, I understand, but when I break down this fight, Lerone Murphy's the better fighter. Evelev, don't get me wrong, has got good grappling, and you can see from Aaron Pico wrestling Lerone Murphy last fight, he was getting him down. He looked like Lerone Murphy was a bit worried. Don't get me wrong, Lerone Murphy ended up getting the spinning elbow knockout within 2.5 minutes. But here's the reality of it. Lerone Murphy took that fight on 3 weeks' notice. Who'd he fill in for? Evelev himself, who keeps pulling out of fights. Evelev hasn't fought in 2 years. Great fighter, but here's the thing. The guy has been coming out talking about how sick he's been. He's been sick, he hasn't felt himself, it's been harder to train. Already, I've thought Evelev is not good in 5-round fights. He gasses, and that's where I'm thinking Lerone Murphy puts it on him in the later rounds, can steal 3 rounds from him, win a decision, can get a late finish. Lerone Murphy's the better fighter here. Like I said, Evelev's coming off being I already thought he didn't have 5-round cardio, and now he's talking about how he's coming back from feeling pretty sick and being kind of screwed up outside the octagon. He's not going to make it 5 rounds, so we better hope he gets the sub right away, and I don't think he can against Murphy. Both these guys are undefeated for a reason. They're tough. I think Lerone Murphy runs away with the decision here. I do think so. Not runs away, but I think he squeaks out 3 rounds. He might even win this 4 rounds to 1. Lerone Murphy at almost plus 200 odds. I couldn't believe that. In his own backyard in England. Can I say any more? This has got to be the underdog of the week. I go on Lerone Murphy. The value is just on him. If you don't want to follow that, I understand. Like, this is a riskier call. This main event is 2 undefeated fighters against each other. But the value is on Lerone Murphy. And that's why my call is nearly plus 200. Lerone Murphy. Now, we got our props. And this is the tough part about props, is they're the toughest to hit, obviously, but the most bang for your buck. I've been hitting all my money lines usually, hitting my hammers, but the props are tough to hit. So this week I took a different approach. As I said, I got Iwo Barienski round 1 KO. I think that's very live, and so that's why I went plus 105. But it's a great way to get that money line down. If you just want to take Iwo Berienski by KO, I think it's minus 220. It's better than minus 700, whatever his money line is now. Another props I got for you. This one is the biggest one I have. Plus 200. It might be plus 220, I think, actually. I got the women's fight going under 2.5, which you don't hear very often. Oliveira, all her wins, all 7 have come by finish somehow. She always finds a way to get a finish, whether that be from her strikes or she finds a weird submission. All her 7 wins have been by finish. Then on the other side, you got Chanel Dyer. The Chanel Dyer wins. It's because the power, the difference in her power, and because she found a way in to land that power. And if she finds a way in to land that power, that means the fight ended. And if Oliveira won, it's by finish, because that's all we've seen out of her 7 wins have been by finish. So me seeing under 2.5 plus 200, don't get me wrong, it's a women's fight. It can go the distance. But the math doesn't add up. Again, the value's on the plus 200. That's why I threw this one on here. Another prop is I got Shamrock by decision. This is a tough fight for Shamrock, but the thing is, I think Shamrock is enough. Shamrock lost his last fight in his UFC debut. It was a hard-fought loss. Shamrock can squeeze out a decision here. When you look at Shamrock and who he's faced on the way up, you can see it's a lot of split decisions, a lot of decisions with grapplers, which is what Abdul's going to do here, is he's going to want to grapple. And I think we're going to see a really good grappling fight here, and in the backyard of England, we already know who's walking out without the judges. I know, I hate when people always assume the judges always give it to the hometown person, but here's the thing. The crowd does sway the way people think, the judges think in particular. Shamrock by decision, that's at plus 185. That's good value there as well. Last prop for you, and this one, it kind of goes hand in hand with my hammer, which I don't like to do often, but I am very confident in MVP, and I can't believe his money line is this low. I got MVP to win, straight money line, and you add the over 1.5 on it. Here's the thing about MVP. He hasn't got a finish in the UFC yet. He's dropped people, but he hasn't got a finish in the UFC. He's a point fighter. Sam Patterson, also I'm a fan of, but he's never faced anyone like MVP if you look at his resume. Almost nobody has. Ian Gary had to get his hands on MVP to slow him down. And Sam Patterson has shown durability issues. That's the only reason I don't put MVP by decision here, because I could see Sam Patterson getting annoyed after a round or two and chasing MVP and getting hit with a shot, especially a straight down the middle. But I am saying this goes over 1.5. The finish comes, it comes later, and it comes when Sam Patterson gets uneasy and gets a little bit impatient and needs to chase MVP, which is what MVP wants you to do, but you can never do that. You gotta have a smart game plan. I don't think Sam Patterson's gonna grapple MVP. And if he does, he's not gonna have success either. MVP wins this. Put the over 1.5 with his money line, you're getting plus money on that. That's probably one of my favorite props of the whole fight card. But guys, that's what we got this week. UFC London, I'm really excited to watch. I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna make my coffee, it's on a little bit earlier, and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna enjoy these fights. It's a good fight card, and it's a heck of a main event. And most of all, above anything, let's win some money this week. God bless you guys. Love ya.